What's up, my kings and queens? It's A the Goddess, and today I'm going to be talking about how to reduce symptoms of PMS. So let's get into the video. I'm back. Now that we're on the topic of PMS, let's actually get down to what PMS actually is. PMS is a group of symptoms that usually occurs during a woman's ovulation cycle or during her period. So the symptoms could range to bloating, it can range to abdominal cramping, diarrhea, constipation, mood swings, depression, and it is just something that it's like you have to brace yourself before it even happens. You're like, whew. Like you have to rearrange your plans. Like it's a lot. So I want to actually show you ladies how to reduce your symptoms of PMS, because it's possible. It's actually a thing that is looked at as normal, but it's something that it's natural to have a cycle, but it's not natural to be going through so much pain during your cycle if it's something that God created our wombs to naturally do. So that's a whole nother spiel, but let me get back on topic. So ways that help me, and I know these are ways that can also help you to reduce your symptoms of PMS, is taking measures before you actually have your cycle. So what I mean is, a week before your cycle, you got to start treating thy body right. And I mean right. Like you need to be cutting out meat, breads, pastas. You need to be cutting out candy. You need to be cutting out sugary drinks. And you need to cut out nuts and seeds. And I know that's strange for some women, like nuts and seeds, because that's something like, let's say if you're eating healthy, you're eating a plant-based diet, that's something you might consume to get your natural fats in. But nuts and seeds have to go through a long process to digest. And what you want to prevent is any additional contraction going on during your period or during your ovulation cycle. So the reason why you want to avoid nuts and seeds, because it takes a long time to digest, and if your stomach is doing so much contracting, it's basically pushing up on your ovaries and causing more pain. So that's another reason. That's something that I learned from this book called Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. And by me cutting out nuts and seeds, that made a tremendous difference, because I used to eat almonds, cashews. So the list goes on. I eat them all. So yeah, that really helped me. And also another thing that made me take charge of my PMS is educating myself, and not just educating myself with Western medicine, but really getting down to the true way that we should be treating our body, which is like the holistic way. So some books that definitely helped me was Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, and I would definitely put that in the description. I feel that every woman should read that book. And also Alternative Medicine, and I'll put that one in the description as well. And Alternative Medicine is just a book you should just have at your house, because sometimes you need a natural way to cure your body instead of going to drugstore medicines or going to the pharmacy. So I definitely advise that book, because it has so many remedies to so many problems that people struggle with, like diabetes, HIV, UTIs, like the list goes on. The book is like this thick, but I can ramble on about that book because it is so educational and it's super interesting. If you're a nerd, then I'm a nerd. So anyway, so ways that can help you is cutting out those foods that don't give your body any nutrients. And what you should switch over to is salads, smoothies, soups. There's so much that you can do. There's so many recipes. There's so many plant-based recipes that you can switch over to, but really eating clean and juicing and getting those necessary nutrients in order to prepare your body for your actual cycle. So that's step number one, is taking those precautions a week before your cycle actually hits. Planning out when your cycle is actually coming and taking those measures beforehand. Okay, so now that we're going to be talking about during your cycle, what you should be consuming and how you could really reduce those PMS symptoms, because trust me, PMS, it's a journey. You have to honestly start cleaning your body out in order to reap the benefits of having no PMS or having very minimal symptoms. Okay, so and another thing that also helped me was doing womb steaming, and this is something I'm going to talk about in another video, but it's super important that we steam our our yoni, because down there, it needs to be cleaned out after your cycle. So this is something that I would usually do like 3 days after my cycle, because it just would honestly help get rid of the extra lining that might be in my uterus. It helps by toning the uterus, and it also has such a calming effect to the feminine body. So I'm definitely going to discuss more about womb steaming, but that's something that you should definitely do like 3 days after your cycle, okay? But during your cycle, what can really help is drinking most of your meals. And when I mean drinking most of your meals, I mean literally liquefying most of your meals, because then again, your body is going through such a fragile state of contracting to get rid of the lining of your uterus. So it makes no sense to be consuming such hearty foods when your stomach has to contract, and then your stomach is just bumping against your uterus while your uterus is contracting, and it's causing a lot of unnecessary pain. So what I did during my cycle was drink most of my meals. So if I wanted to have a smoothie, I made my smoothie super thick, and I would add like papaya, I would add a lot of raspberries, a lot of food that basically help the uterus. Okay, so your dark berries, your micronutrients, your greens, wheatgrass, spirulina. I'll do like a little bit of almond butter to make it a little bit like creamy, and then almond milk, of course. And that's something that I would have like in the morning, and then like let's say for lunch, I would have like a green drink. So I'll blend up my celery, my green apples. There's so many different recipes that I can like put in the description box, but I mostly drink all of my meals. Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I was drinking my meals, and usually you don't really have an appetite during your cycle. Some people do, but for the most part, I was lucky enough to kind of be like lethargic during my cycle, so that's why I usually drunk most of my meals. And let's say if you're not really on the smoothie wave, you're not really on the liquid like diet phase, then you can honestly like eat salads, eat foods that are roasted vegetables, eat foods that have high contents of nutrients, and they can still be solid. So that's something that I definitely suggest, and it says that even in the book with Queen Afua, like she was just saying that you should really be like kind to your body and let your body go through the phase of purging. So make sure that you're not causing your body to consume hearty foods, because the body's at a fragile state, and then you're just having your body work overtime to digest hearty foods. So being light to the body and feeding your body mostly liquid food. And then also taking my supplements. And the supplements that really helped me during my cycle was definitely maca root. And maca root is a hormonal herb that helps for men and women. It helps with athletic ability, it helps with sexual drive, and it even helps with menopausal symptoms. So maca root is something I took also raspberry extract, and raspberry extract helps with toning the uterus. So those are the two supplements that I definitely doubled up on during my cycle. And then another tip that I have is drinking raspberry tea. And then again, raspberry tea tones the uterus, but drinking something warm on your stomach while you're in such a fragile state of purging, it really just adds a meditative state to your body and really just calms your body down, and it's really yummy too. So I would definitely suggest raspberry tea. And then hydrating, drinking lots of water. Usually women, that when they're on their cycle, they are dehydrated, and that causes it just causes so much it can cause mood swings, it can cause more contraction to the uterus. So making sure that you are hydrated, because your whole body needs the water. You are at such a depleting state, so if you're not hydrating, your body has really nothing to to survive off of. So making sure that you're drinking at least like half a gallon of water, and you can even infuse that water with different fruits or supplements just to get your nutrients in. And then the last thing I'm going to say is taking care of yourself. So really spending time with yourself, really spending time with the Most High, and really just centering yourself, because when you are on your cycle, you're in a very fragile state. So it's very important that as a woman you take charge of your well-being, and not just your physical well-being, but also your mental well-being and your soul. So taking that time, the time to journal, taking the time to be in meditation, taking that time to go exercise. And that's something that also I definitely do, will be the last tip that I would include, is making sure that you exercise. I know that during your cycle you don't want to be jumping up and down, because it's kind of gross, but at least going out on a walk, just getting active, going on a hike, going on a trail, even doing like some arm exercises, doing things to increase your heart rate, that will then help with the PMS symptoms. That's all I have for y'all. Really quick video. I would definitely love to get deeper into this topic, because Western medicine makes it seem that PMS is normal. It is not. It's definitely not normal. It's because we have so many hormones, we have so many different medicines, so many different things that cause our body to act the way it acts, and then we call it normal because we aren't getting our nutrients, we aren't getting our knowledge from the source. We think that we can create these things, and then our bodies can just thrive off of medicine, and it's not right at all, because PMS is not a good sign. It's not normal, and we have to take charge of our body and really start treating our bodies like the temples they are. So that's the last thing I'm going to say. I can definitely go deeper into this topic if y'all want me to, but it's for another video. And that's why I say definitely do your research, not just on Google, but really getting into those holistic books if you really want to take charge of your health, because that's what really opened my eyes to Western medicine when I started doing my research. So other than that, that's how you reduce your symptoms of PMS. I don't want to say how to cure your PMS, because I'm no doctor, but I can definitely say that these tips really help me to get rid of my PMS. Okay, so other than that, thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, please like, and don't forget those 2 books that I recommended are in the description box. My website's in the description box, and be on the lookout because we are about to drop some amazing products such as womb steaming and also those supplements that I mentioned inside of the video. So be on the lookout, and love y'all.